Good morning to all. I'm happy to introduce our resource person, Dr. Sunita ma'am. Dr. Sunita ma'am has 20 years experience and her specialization is natural fibers and non-wovens, green composites and technical textiles. She is the PhD guide for 4 candidates and also the guide for MSc degree. She had done many publications and presented many international conferences and national presentations. She participated in various level programs, organized workshops and special lectures, webinars and training programs. Also, she had done many achievements and I congratulate her to future dreams become true. Happy to her today for this webinar. Welcome, ma'am.
Okay. Good morning, one and all present for this webinar. Today I'm going to I'm just going to give a special a brief note on non-oven manufacturing methods, the potentiality of non-ovens, which is very important for us to know. Because non-oven is gaining more and more importance these days. We should know about non-ovens, the potentiality of non-ovens. And I will also tell you about the application, already prevailing application about non-ovens. So that you can understand it better. How I have planned my PPT is to make you understand about the manufacturing process and relate that to the application part of it, so that even when you do your own research, you can think about what method you have to go, what process, what bonding process you have to go, what web making process you have to go for while doing your research. Depending on the end use only, you have to decide about the method of formation of web as well as the bonding process. So I thought of relating the manufacturing process with the application so that you can understand it better. Suppose one wants to do on geotextiles, what method you can go for preparation of the web, because students are unaware of all those things, of what method they have to go, what web process, web making process they have to go, or bonding process they have to go while doing the research. So I thought of giving a brief note about all these things, so that this will facilitate you UG students to go further in research when you do your PG. Okay, with this small introduction, I will proceed with the part. Children, can you tell me what are non-ovens? Let me see what idea you have basically on non-ovens. Can anyone answer? Yes.
Anyone can tell, ma?
What are non-ovens? What basically you must have an idea, right, about non-ovens. We have ovens, we have knits, and then the non-ovens. So what are non-ovens? Yes. Can anyone answer? Don't mind if it's wrong or right. Never bother. Just answer. Tell me whatever you know. Yes.
See,
You
anybody else?
You can just be free to answer. Whatever you know, you tell me. Whether it's right or wrong, no problem.
மேம் நான் ஃபேப்ரிக் வந்து லாங் ஃபேப்ரிக்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. ஸ்டாச்சு ஃபேப்ரிக்.
Non-woven fabric?
லாங் ஃபேப்ரிக். அப்புறம்
Yes. Okay. Okay, ma. So non-woven fabric is the one which is called as engineered fabric. This non-woven fabrics are manufactured by high speed and low cost. Okay, so this is very very economical to produce. Very economical to produce, and at the same time at faster rate we can prepare, and we can get more output. Okay, more production we can make with less time, and at the same time the cost also will work out effectively. Okay, they are created with a view to targeted structure and properties by applying a set of scientific principles for a variety of applications. This is called engineered fabrics because most of our non-wovens are taken for the technical application. Okay, they are taken for the technical purpose. That is why they are called as engineered fabrics. You all know what is a technical purpose. That is, it need not be decorative. It is more of functional. It will fulfill the functional aspect. So that is the technical textile, right? The textile which serves the functional aspect of any product. No, it serves the functional aspect. Then it is called a technical one. It need not be a decorative one at all. So the aesthetic sense it need not have. Okay, so that is this non-woven fabrics serve that kind of a purpose, which is mainly for the technical use. Okay, ma'am. So here, according to INDA, non-woven fabrics are generally defined as sheet or web structures made by bonding and interlocking of fibers, yarns, or filaments by mechanical, thermal, chemical, or solvent means. And EDANA also has given another definition, European Disposables and Non-Ovens Association. What they are telling us, non-ovens are a manufactured sheet, web, or bat of directional or random oriented fibers produced and bonded by mechanical, chemical, or physical means. Okay, so it can be how it is prepared, how the web is formed. All these are taken into account, and that is how they have formed the definition. Okay. So what are the different classifications of non-woven? How do you classify non-woven fabrics? So there are different techniques, namely mechanical bonding technique, chemical bonding technique, thermal bonding technique, and bonding of spunlace webs. Okay, thermal. So these three are the major ones of non-woven manufacturing. Okay. So here, this mechanical bonding techniques, you have three different types, namely needle punching, stitch bonding, and hydroentanglement. As far as the chemical bonding technique is concerned, you have saturation bonding, spray bonding, foam bonding, application bonding, and print bonding. Okay, and there is one more type, discontinuous bonding. Thermal bonding is of different types, like hot calendering, belt calendering, air through thermal bonding, ultrasonic bonding, and radiant heat bonding. Okay, now we'll see about the different steps involved in making the non-woven. So how do you prepare the non-woven? What are the different steps involved in preparing the non-wovens? First of all, you have to select the raw material, that is the fiber. Clear? So the selection of raw material or procuring of fibers. This procurement for natural fibers we may have to do, like for example, you want to do a geotextile material, say with the natural fiber, or you want to do an agro-based material with natural fiber. Then first you have to procure the fiber, get the fiber, okay, from the right source, and then you have to prepare the fiber. So how you will prepare the fibers? By opening, cleaning, and blending. Okay, so all the basic processes, like how you do for weaving and knitting and all, for the fiber, basically you have to do all the cleaning processes. Okay, and the preparation techniques. Suppose you want to soften the fiber for hand batching, you may have to soften the fiber also for hand batching. Okay, so all these should be done before you go for the web formation. So web formation is a state where the fibers are converted into web, which will be after carding and after all those things, it will just form a sheet, very thin sheet like a thing, and that is nothing but the web. Okay, so this web can be bonded, should be bonded after that. So this web formation, you have different types like a fiber to fabric, dry laid web, wet laid web, and air laid web. Again, polymer to fabric, if you want to convert, then you have melt blown, spun bond, and SMS, that is spun melt spun bond webs. Okay, so once the web is ready, we have to go for the web bonding process. The web alone will not have any strength. You cannot call it a fabric at all. It will just be a sheet, a loose sheet. Okay, which when you just separate with the hand, you will just move away. The fibers will move away. So it has to be fabricated. It will be done only by bonding. Okay, so there only comes the bonding process, which is called web bonding process. And there you have three different bonding processes, which we saw in the previous slide. Okay, mechanical, thermal, and chemical bonding. So using any type of this bonding technique, you bond the web. Then only it becomes a fabric, right? And then we go for finishing. Suppose you want to have some finishing in that, you can go for dye imprinting, coating of some finishes you can go for, and basic dry finishes, physical finishes you can do, chemical finishes you can do, all those finishes you can do. But one thing you have to remember, so this non-woven fabrics, you may not have a very good strength. Like how the woven fabrics are, you cannot handle the non-woven fabrics. So everything should be mechanical, should be done using machines. So handling is very, very difficult, and it won't have much strength also. Like how we have strength in the woven structures, surely the strength is not much here in the non-woven structures. Okay. And then after the finishing process, we can go for the product preparation and distribution and marketing. Okay. And now the web formation. So the carded web, as I told you, the web forming is done in different ways. Okay. The carded web, this method for staple fibers, whether natural or synthetic or blends, can do. You can go for this carding process, even for the natural fibers. Say, for example, the sisal fiber, the jute fiber, hemp, all those things also you can do the simple carding. It's a very, very simple technique where you have the breaker. Okay, you will have the breaker which will open the fiber and make it very, very thin. It will tear the fiber actually and make it very, very thin. Okay, and this will help in further proceeding with the just will form the web, and which will help in proceeding with the fabrication of the web. And the second method is the air laid web. Here this air is passed, and high stream of air is passed when we lay the fiber inside, which will convert that into the web. Here the fibers are there in the Licarin opener is there. See the Licarin opener, and that will slightly card the fiber, and then with the help of the air it will pass on, and that will come out as a web. Here again you get the web only with the help of air laid technique. And then the wet laid technique. Okay, so here in the wet laid technique, it's as the name itself indicates, the fibers short. This could be done for the short fibers with the help of water. Okay, water or other medium. If you want to use any other medium also, you can use any liquid you can use, which provides the required inter and intra fiber adhesion and cohesiveness to form continuous web. Okay, this will slightly create the adhesion between the webs. Okay, and then between the fibers in the web. Okay, this will to add strength it gives. You can go for some kind of resinous substance also mixed with water. And then you have spun bonding, melt blown. So spun bonding, this is polymer fire to fabric. Okay. The previously all those ones, the dry laid, wet laid, air laid are fiber. Those are not, the polymer is not involved. Whereas in spun bonding or melt blown techniques, you include the polymers. Okay, so spun bond method is commonly used method for the web formation. The thermoplastic polymer chips. It will be available in chips or pallets. Okay, you must have seen it in pallets. You must have seen. They are actually melted and extruded into synthetic fibers. Okay, so polyethylene, polypropylene, polyester, all these are available in the form of chips, which you can convert into fiber. This extruded fiber are then placed together to form a wide web-like sheet that is allowed to cool for interstrand bindings. That will help in binding of the interbinding. Okay. So the web or sheet modified for selected end use. You can again make some corrections or alterations or modifications to make it suitable for your special end use. As previously I told, you can go for any kind of end use you want. So depending on that, you can make any modifications at this stage itself. Okay, and then the melt blown technique. The extruded fiber sheet of molten polymer is subjected to a continuous jet of hot air, and then the sheet is allowed to cool and bond. Okay, this splits the extruded filaments into very thin fibers, fine fibers. Okay, this method of producing webs is highly productive in non-woven product preparation. This melt blown technique is everywhere used. In medical textiles it is used, in geotextiles it is used. Okay, everywhere it is used. And now let us see the bonding techniques. So far, are you clear? Are you clear, ma?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, now shall we proceed to the bonding technique?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So here the bonding, mechanical bonding process. This is the needle. As I told you, there are 3 different mechanical bonding processes. Where you have, first one is a needle punching. Needle punching is a non-woven process by which the fibers are mechanically entangled to produce a non-woven fabric by repeated penetration of barbed needles through a perforated dry fibrous web. Okay, a needle loom is used for needle punching. See, the needle loom is nothing but the branded one is Delo needle punching machine, which helps us in interlocking of the fibers. Actually, you can see the needle board at the bottom, and at the, see here the needle board is there, the needles are there. The needle will have up and down movement, which will help in interlocking of the fibers. There will be about 2,500 needles in a board. Okay, 2,500 needles in the board, and which this will go up and down, and the strokes on the fabric that is made is 250 strokes per minute. Okay, will be 250 strokes per minute. So that is how it goes on. So as and when it moves up and down, the fabric, the board also will move at the bottom and the fabric will come out. Do you understand? So this is how the interlocking happens. Clear? Now you can see the schematic diagram of the needle board with the needles. On the top you can see the bed at the bottom. Okay, and the stripper plate. Okay, so here on the left side you can see the feed roller and the delivery roller on the right, and the product what you will get from the needle loom is the shown in the plate, in the figure, the photo. Right, that is the needle punched material. Clear? Yeah. See, this stitch bonding is nothing but the incorporation of yarn. It is very, very simple mechanical bonding technique. Here, the incorporation of the yarn only is done on the sheet, right? It can also be, the yarn can be of any type, any strong yarn that could just after interlocking of this, the non-woven material you have obtained, but this yarn penetration into the non-woven structure will add more strength to the structure. That is why we wherever necessary we go for the stitch bonded fabrics. Yeah, next is a hydro entanglement. This is a process of fiber consolidation through the use of fine high pressure jets of water. Creating a nonwoven with this method typically begins with carding fiber into a web structure, then passing the web through the series of high pressure water curtains which serve to entangle the fibers and create many fiber to fiber interactions. See, always you have the, as the name itself indicates, the hydro entanglement. This is entangled, fibers are entangled with the help of water. Okay, the technology is known for producing non-woven fabrics with high web uniformity, high strength and weight ratio. Okay, lower pore size and increased absorption properties. This has got a very good absorption properties. So which end use you go for? Wherever you have absorption as a predominant property requirement, there you go for this hydro-entangled, use of the hydro-entangled fibers. Clear? So here you can see the hydro-entanglement, the schematic diagram here. The wet web passes here, wet jets are there on the top, bottom you have the vacuum. Okay, and this entanglement happens and you get the drying and winding happens. Okay, dehydration happens in between, which removes the water from the web. Okay, and then ultimately after drying you get, that is wound. The non-woven fabric is wound. Clear? Yeah. So we saw previously, we saw about the mechanical bonding processes. What are the different mechanical bonding processes we have seen now? Can anyone tell? What are the different mechanical bonding processes? Yes? Can anyone answer?
Ma'am, needle punching,
Yeah.
stitch bonding,
Yeah.
hydro
Yes.
entanglement.
Okay. Okay. Now all these are there, and now we have the next bonding process, chemical bonding. Okay, ma. So in this chemical bonding technique, we will use chemicals for bonding. Okay. So this may be adhesive material also. This chemical binders are the polymers that are formed by emulsion polymerization. The widely used binder today are waterborne latexes. You all know what a latex is. It's nothing but the rubbery material, right? It's a resin only. It can also be a natural one. It is a rubbery substance which helps in binding. They are applied in a number of different ways to the non-wovens, and because of the viscosity, it is close to that of water. They can easily penetrate into the non-woven structure by emulsion. See, the rubbery substance always you all know it's very difficult to penetrate into the web, right? So in that case, we go for we mix more of water, make it very thin. Okay, the viscosity will go down, and then the spraying is done. Okay, so after application of the binder, they are dried and after dehydration is done, they are dried, and that forms a very good film. Okay, thin film. Yeah, there are different chemical bonding techniques like saturation bonding. In this case, complete immersion of this fabric is done in the chemical, okay, in the bath. And then the foam bonding, here the chemical is applied on the surface. Spray bonding, where it is sprayed on the surface. Then the print bonding, it is applied on the binder at the predetermined areas only. Okay. So here all actually I have so many pics for all these. Maybe I can send it to your mail to your HOD's sir's mail so that you can have a glance at it. Okay, how this bonding technique is carried out, chemical bonding is carried out. There are different types of bonding. If we go deeper and deeper, it will take so much of time. That's why I'm just telling you an intro about all these different techniques used for the chemical bonding. Okay. And now is the thermal bonding. Thermal bonding is a process of using heat to, as the name itself indicates, you all know thermal means heat, isn't it? So by using heat, it is bonded. And all are part of fibers act as thermal binder, thus eliminating the use of latex or resin binders. Here, when we use heat, we don't need, we don't have a need to use chemical at all. No use of chemical. So thereby, by heat itself, you do the bonding. Clear? But we go use some kind of low melt fiber for doing the thermal bonding. Okay, the low melt fiber may be polypropylene, polyethylene terephthalate. Okay, the PET, polyethylene terephthalate. Like that, you can use some kind of low melt fibers which would help in actually bonding the web to form the fabric, right? So polypropylene has been the most suitable fiber with its low melting point of approximately 165 degrees C, and are also soft to touch. Okay, this type of fabric is very soft to touch. Okay, but actually, no, the needle punched fabric will have more flexibility and softness when compared to the thermal bonded structures. Thermal bonded structure will be a bit rigid, the flexibility will be lesser, stiffness will be more. Do you understand? And the interlocking also will be more in the needle punch fabric, whereas thermal bonded is done by resin, by with the help of the application of heat. When you apply heat, what happens? The low melt fiber melts, penetrates into the web and do the bonding. That's it. So you may not expect much of interlocking in this thermal bonding. You will get a fabric, strong fabric, but will be very stiff and won't be pliable, like how you have the needle punched fabrics. Okay, so the base fibers can be natural or synthetic fibers, mineral and even metallic fibers. The binder fibers can be homophil fibers like polyester, as I told you now, PP, PA, okay, PE, PET fibers. All these you can have. And again, in thermal bonding also, though you apply heat and do, you have different techniques. Okay, the heat, how you apply, depending on that only you have, it is segregated into different types, like calendar bonding, through air bonding, infrared bonding, ultrasonic bonding. In the calendar bonding, you apply heat and pressure. The through air bonding, you apply hot air. Okay, hot air apply pandrom, with the help of which the low melt fiber just melts and penetrates into the web. Okay, and then the infrared bonding. So here the application of rays, infrared rays we have applied. And here ultrasonic bonding is merely by the vibration of the ultrasonic horn. There will be one ultrasonic horn that will vibrate, and with the help of which the energy is produced, and heat energy is produced, and with the help of which the bonding takes place. Okay, are you clear, girls? Are you clear, students, about all these? Now we have seen the web formation bonding technique. Are you clear? Are you clear, ma'am?
Yeah, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, clear.
Clear? Shall we proceed to the next one?
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
can you tell me what are the different techniques, ma'am, which I mentioned now?
Mechanical bonding process.
Yes.
Ma'am, chemical bonding.
Yeah.
Thermal bonding, ma'am.
Oh, fine. Okay, very good, Puvita. Yes. So,
Thank you, ma'am.
The next one is we succeed for the potentialities, the properties, and uses. Okay, use is mainly dependent on the property of the fiber. Okay, and depending on the properties, we go for different uses, and same way also you have the potentialities in future. Clear? So now let us see different applications. Why this non-woven is applied? Why shouldn't we use the woven material or knitted material for technical textile purpose? Why we are going for non-woven materials? Because non-woven material has got its own unique characters. Okay, it has more everything. The strength may be lesser compared to the woven or knitted material, but all other aspects are completely fulfilled and satisfactory in the non-woven material. Strength also we can add by using suitable raw material, say polypropylene, polyethylene, or even Kevlar. Kevlar you must have heard. So all those have very good strength also. Okay, non-wovens have several special properties which give perfect utilization in various fields of technical textiles. Okay, so what are they? All basic parameters or properties they have. Other than that, what special features they have? They are abrasion resistance, acoustic insulation, barrier for different types of environment, cost effective nature, durable, and they are we are able to customize that very easily. We can change the raw material, produce a different type of material, we can change the method and manufacture it in a different way. So it is not fixed. It's not fixed that only this kind of product we can get. No, it is always customized. Okay, then it is flame resistance. Then it has a good strength, good weight. Okay, and this thickness also is very good wherever necessary, mainly for acoustic and thermal insulation materials. Then filtration ability is very high. Okay, which other fabrication techniques do not have. Okay, now let us come to the application of the non-wovens in various fields of technical textiles. Though knitted material, woven materials are used for this technical textile application, uh, our non-woven material, how they play an important role in technical textiles, that we will see now. So first of all, you should know what is technical textile and what are the different fields of technical textiles. So the technical textile, as I told you, won't have much of aesthetic sense, but will be more functional in nature. That is technical textile. So there are different fields like agrotech, build tech, cloth tech, geotech, home tech, indutech, meditech, mobile tech, pack tech, pro tech, sport tech, and ecotech. Can anyone tell me what these fields are? What is agrotech? What is build tech? Can anyone tell me? You must have come across, no? At least one type of technical textile you must have come across so far. Can you tell me? Can anyone answer this? Yes? Can anyone answer this? Nandini? Yes? Well, I'm just asking you what are the different technical textiles? I have mentioned all the technical textile fields. So have you come across these, any one at least of the different fields I'm asking you?
Ma'am, agrotechna efficiency of output of agriculture, ma'am.
Okay, okay. What is build tech? Yes?
Ma'am,
Anybody
constructions
can
of
answer.
building.
Yes? Answer, ma.
Ma'am, buildtechna constructions of building, ma'am.
பில்டிங்ல உங்களோட இந்த டெக்ஸ்டைல் பார்ட் என்ன இருக்கு, டெக்னிக்கலா என்ன இன்வால்வ் ஆயிருக்கு, so mentioning that only is the build tech, isn't it? Okay, then cloth tech. Yes, others also can interact. Are you all listening? Are you all listening, ma'am? Then why don't you switch on your video? Yes, what is the different, what is Indutech, what is HomeTech? Any idea? Yes, girls? Okay. So this ClothTech is the one where the manufacture of clothing is done, which is apparel, shoes, okay, then hats, caps, all accessories also. It is involved here, where our technical non-woven material is used as a technical part in the particular even shoes, the sole, the shoe component, all these. Okay, Geotech is the one where our textiles have got direct contact with the sand, with the mud, or with the earth. Okay, Home Tech is one where the textile material is in contact, is in helps in or serves its purpose for the interiors. Okay, small components in the interiors. It can be placemats, it can be runners, it can be any type of table linen, bed linen, then interiors, wall coverings, all those. Meditech is for the medical field, you all know. Mobile tech is for the automobile industry. Pack tech is the one way you go for different types of packing material. Pro tech is protective textiles. Sport tech is nothing but for the sports. Okay, and then eco tech is the eco-friendly material, whatever you use for different purposes, that will fall under this category. Okay, so now let us see the agrotech. So for agrotech material, we have seen different types of web formation and bonding technique, right? Of those, dry laid webs are used for the agrotech, and mechanical bonding technique and is used. As far as the bonding technique is concerned, mechanical bonding is used for the agrotech. Okay, and the weight or the GSM of the fabric is from 120 to 350 GSM. What are the different fibers used for agrotech? They are polyethylene, natural fibers, PLA, PP fibers. Okay, so for what all purposes they are used? When you come for the different applications, they are crop covers, seed blankets, mulch sheets, greenhouse effect, shading, greenhouse shading, root bags, plant pots, capillary matting, and other coverings for bringing a for preventing the sunlight to fall directly into the garden. Okay, and why they are these fibers are used, and what are the different salient properties that is required for agrotech is the filtration ability, superior strength and durability, tear and puncture resistance, permeability, absorption property, resistance to rotting chemicals and microbes, temperature fluctuation tolerant, and UV resistance. When you lay all these agro mats or mulch mats in the sun, and when you just lay it on the soil, what will happen? That will readily take up, because of the moisture in the fabric, it will take up the rot, it will take up different microbes, it will be affected by the microbes, it will be affected by different lights from the sun. So it should be protected, the fabric as such should be protected, because the purpose of your fabric is to serve the garden, is to protect the plants. So the fabric itself should not get damaged. So such a way the fabric should have different properties, right? So these are different, products that are there in the agrotech, where our non-woven is utilized. See, as a covering, then pots, the pots that is prepared with the help of our non-woven material will have when it is made from a natural fiber, you can directly put into the soil for its growth. The sapling directly you can plant in the soil for growth. where this natural fiber will degrade completely and act as a manure for the other plants in the soil. It will not destroy the soil at all. When you go for natural fibers, mainly this mulch sheet and this pot, okay. And then the greenhouse effect you can see there, okay. This one is a mulch sheet, and here is the, for terrace garden and all, this will help. Small non-woven material. By laying non-woven material, you can also put on lawns and all, okay. Yeah, next is the Buildtech. So for the Buildtech purpose, dry laid, spun laid beds are used. Chemical and mechanical bonded non-woven structures are used. And the weight of the Buildtech material probably fall with the GSM of 120 to 250. Okay, and the fibers used are PET, Kevlar, Nomex, carbon, and glass fibers. Okay, what are the different applications in Buildtech? Where all the textile material is used, non-woven material, in the roofing, house wrap, noise insulation, pipe wrap, concrete molding layers, tile underlay, reinforcements, wall covering, and partitions. Okay, here all we use it, and there are some advantages. Okay, special advantages for this Buildtech material. Other than the normal parameters or properties, you need some special properties. It should have good dimensional stability. It should have a good tear resistant property, heat resistant property, and water resistant property too. And this also is bioresistant, means microbes. It should not be affected or attracted by the microbes, and then fire resistant. So these are the important parameters one should have, one fabric or the material should have to serve its purpose for Buildtech. So here you can see different materials used for the building. All those are non-woven materials, the wall covering, floor covering material, okay, air laid, spun bonded material, all these are used for this. Yeah, next is the cloth tech. So dry laid, spun laid beds are used for cloth tech. Mechanical bonded structure is applied, and the weight will be from 70 to 250 GSM. Okay, and sometimes also goes to 1200 GSM wherever necessary. And then always remember this needle punched fabrics will be thicker compared to with the same raw material. Suppose you use cotton and sisal and prepare a non-woven using needle punched technique, needle punching technique, and same raw material, cotton and same natural fiber or thing you use for the preparation of the fabric with the thermal bonded structure, the thickness will surely be more only in the needle punch structure compared to others. Okay, and the fiber used is the PET fiber. So what are the various products that could be made for under the cloth tech are shoe components, belts, interlinings, and leather goods. Okay, so it is advantageous by various properties, salient properties, like it should have a good dimensional stability, it should be light in weight, ease of use, it should have improved adhesion, softness, non-raveling edges, color stability, high tear resistance, abrasion resistance, high tensile strength, chemically inert, and water resistant. Okay, so all these parameters are the predominant ones which the cloth tech material should have. So these are different materials of non-wovens, interlining material. This you must have seen while stitching and all. You must have seen interlining. It's a non-woven material. So like this, you have different end uses for cloth tech. Yeah. Then is the geotech. Geotech, the dry laid, spun laid webs, and even the melt blown webs are used. Okay. For this geotech purpose, mechanical bonded material are used for this geotech. The weight moves from 100 to 2000 GSM, grams per square meter. And the fibers used are PET, polypropylene, then rPET, PE, PVC, and natural fibers. Okay. Here again, there are some end uses that is done using the these mechanical bonded structure, dry-laid, spun-laid webs and all for geotech purpose. What are they? They are road and rail building, dam, canal lining, okay, pond lining, soil separation, soil stabilization and reinforcement, drainage, landfill, filtration, sedimentation and erosion control, root barriers and sport surfaces. Suppose you feel the root penetrates into the building. It will penetrate into the building after a long run. You can just keep the non-woven material, protect your building, prevent the penetration of the root into it. Okay, like this, there are several purposes. In Nilgiris, you can see the landslide happening every now and then. Whenever there is heavy rainfall, you can see this. So this our non-woven material helps in preventing the soil erosion. Okay, so when you just lay a sheet of non-woven material, it prevents the soil erosion. Okay, so these are the advantages for their salient properties. There are some advantages which this particular material has to fulfill for serving the purpose of geotextile. What are they? Filtration ability, superior strength and durability, tear and puncture resistance, elasticity, permeability, puncture, low humidity, absorption, resistance to rotting chemicals and microbes. ஏன்னா இது வந்து உங்களுக்கு டைரக்டா சாயில டச் ஆகுது. Do you understand? So it will be prone to all sorts of rotting and attack of microbes, even termites. So all these should be prevented. Okay, so that way the fabric should be. Or what will happen? It will not stay long for the in the soil. It will not serve its purpose. It will degrade soon. That too, when you do this kind of geotech or agrotech with the help of a natural fiber, it is prone to microbes and it will not withstand. It will not sustain for more than 3 months in the soil. I have done in my research the mulch fabric. Yeah, you cannot. Only the lady's finger plant can grow in the mulch sheet. After that, what happens? After 3 months, it is degraded. The degradation of the fabric starts. Of course, that will act as a manure later, but our purpose is mulch sheet. Our purpose, when it goes for the geotextile, it should serve the purpose. Okay. So the dams, like last photo, the root barrier. So for all these purposes, our geotextile non-woven materials are used. Then is the home tech. So home tech, wet-laid, spun-laid webs are used. Needle punched and thermal bonded non-woven fabric structures are used. The weight moves from 250 to 2000 GSM. Fibers used are PA, most spun dyed PP, PET fibers, and some with the several color, even colors are used, because for the home textile, some value addition may be done. When it is for apparel, when it is for home interiors, some value addition may be done by incorporation of color into it. Okay. So what are the different end uses in the home tech? It is cushion pads, bed linens, blankets, wall coverings, detergent pouches, carpet, floor coverings, table linen, furniture and upholstery, vacuum cleaning bags, and wipes. Wipes are very, very important ones. Wipes are used in home tech, even cloth tech, meditech, everywhere, even in the industries, everywhere the wipes play very, very important role. Okay. So what are the different advantages, salient advantages for our non-wovens in home tech? Non-traveling of edges, high dimensional stability, color stability, sound absorbability, strength and stretchability, anti-allergy, antimicrobial properties, fluid resistant, fire retardancy, UV resistant, and lint freeze one. Okay, when it is go for wipes and all, it should be lint free. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to use. It is not. It won't be purpose serving. Okay. So these are different materials in the home tech. You can see the pictures. And next is the Indutech. So industrial textiles, girls, are you all following me?
Yes, ma'am, following.
Okay. Next is the Indutech. So dry laid melt blown webs and the needle punched chemical bonded and also thermal bonded fabrics may be used for the Indutech application, for the industrial application. The weight moves from 80 to 450 GSM, okay, and even up to 1500 GSM for paddings. And fibers used are PP, PA, PET, and even our natural fibers along with PET, okay. Glass fibers may be used. Do you understand? So what are the different products that are made in the Indutech are electrical components, filtration and separation, satellite dishes, conveyor belts, reinforced plastics, PVC substrates, flame barriers, noise absorbance, and anti-slip matting. Okay, there are some advantages for their salient properties. What are they? See, they should have superior strength and weight, abrasion resistant, thermal protection, flame resistant, acoustic insulation, air filtration, and easily molded. And this retains shape retentivity is also very, very important when it comes for this Indutech. These are some of the materials, filtration material. Okay. See, we are also working on so much of oleophilic material. Have you ever heard oleophilic material? So we are working on it using the fibers. We have converted that into non-woven structures, and we are also working on filtration materials. Okay. Meditech. So this medical, the textile material which is used for the medical application is called Meditech. You all know. So this dry laid, spun laid, melt blown webs, hydro entangled, thermal bonded, non-woven fabric structures are used for medical textiles. The weight moves from 80 to 150 GSM. And different fibers used are polypropylene, cotton, viscose, lyocell, tencel, PLA, hollow polyester fiber, and hollow viscose. And also blending of all these will help in forming different materials like band-aids, okay, gauze material, different, even in the kidney transplantation, heart and all those stomach intestinal problems, this hollow polyester and hollow viscose are used. Okay. So different applications are drapes, wraps and packs, bed linen, lab coats, different gowns, sterilization wraps, incubator mattress, wound, all our small, even for small wounds, the band-aid and are the non-woven materials. Then heat packs, fixation tapes, everything. So the advantages, salient properties of these are excellent absorption, softness, stretchability, comfort and fit, strength, tear resistance, then stain hiding property and breathability. So these are the different types of Meditech materials. So what are the materials I have shown here? Can anyone tell? What are the materials I have shown in the photos? What are the materials are shown here in the picture? Students, are you all following?
All of you reply no.
What are the materials you are seeing here? What are the products you are seeing here in the photo?
Ma'am, medical textiles.
Yes. Medical textile material தான் கண்ணா. என்னெல்லாம் பாக்குறீங்க நீங்க? What are the products you see here? என்னெல்லாம் பாக்குறீங்க? என்ன ப்ராடக்ட் எல்லாம் அங்க இருக்கு?
Band-aids, ma'am.
Socks, diaper,
Gloves.
Diaper.
Mask.
Glove. Mask. Very good.
Medical gloves.
Okay. ஸோ இது எல்லாமே மெடிக்கல் டெக்ஸ்டைல்ஸ் தான். அப்புறம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா நம்மளுக்கு நிறைய சப்போர்ட்டிவ் மெட்டீரியல்ஸும் இருக்கு. ஆங்கிள் பேண்ட், நீ பேண்ட் அண்ட் பேக் போன், ஸ்பைனல் பேண்ட், அந்த மாதிரி we have also these materials. And the most required one need of the hour is the mask, right? இந்த மாஸ்க் பாத்தீங்கன்னா it's all produced as a thin material only, less than 100 GSM only it is prepared. And 3-layered mask, even our research, so many research works are going in this field. It is of 3 layers. The first layer will have more absorbency. The second layer will have some kind of a finish. Okay, aroma finish or ayurvedic fabric that will be. Ayur finish it will have. And the third layer is will be such that it does not absorb any moisture from the environment. It does not absorb water. It does not absorb any microbes. Such a layer will be the third layer. And the first layer will be absorbent one. So the tri-layered mask we can just put on during this pandemic situations for us to protect our lungs. You need not inhale unnecessary this polluted environment. So you can go for such tri-layered masks. Okay, and always in the hospitals for this COVID treatment, doctors are with the suits, full suit for covering for the leg. They cover their body. They cover their hand with the gloves and mask, head covering, shield. They have everything they are using. Very, very difficult only because they sweat like anything. It is really difficult task for them to serve the corona patients. It's really difficult. Okay, we should only thank all those people for that. Because why it is great, it is not user friendly, definitely, because it is polypropylene, polyethylene terephthalate or such materials which will not take up the water moisture from our body. We will sweat but it will not absorb, right? So such a material only we will use, and air permeability won't be there in the polypropylene sheets. But it prevents us from the microbes. It protects us from the unnecessary virus. Okay, so that is why doctors prefer this. But as a human being, for a human being, it is really a difficult task to manage within that suit. Okay. So now let us come to the mobile tech. Mobile tech is done by utilizing the dry laid, blown webs, needle punched, chemical bonded and thermal bonded non-woven fabric structures. Okay, so the weight moves from 80 to 450 GSM. Also sometimes 1500 GSM for the paddings. And here fibers are used are polypropylene, polythene, polyethylene terephthalate, and sometimes natural fiber mixed with PET, blended ones we can go for. Then nylon fibers, aramid fibers, carbon fibers and glass fibers. So what are the different products that we can make from in mobile tech using non-woven? They are headliner, acoustic control, face fabric, insulation material, flooring, carpet backing, tufting and other padding materials in the vehicles. Within the vehicles I'm talking, not home interiors. Okay, then acoustic materials, wheel housing, dashboard insulation, then mainly heat insulators. Okay, so what are the different salient properties it should have are superior strength, weight, abrasion resistant, thermal protection, flame resistant, acoustic insulation, air filtration, and easily molded ones. It should be easily moldable. Okay, and UV resistant also, because it's for vehicles. So here I have given different application of non-woven in our car, that is in our mobile or automobile industry. Just taking car as an example. Same way this is repeated for other vehicles also. This has been posted by Idana. Yeah, next is the PackTech. PackTech is very, very important one, because nowadays the polythene is abolished and we all go run towards the natural fibers and natural packing materials. So what are the non-woven material utilized are the needle punched materials, dry laid air and spun laid webs are used, and the weight moves from 80 to 250 GSM, and the fibers used are natural fibers, PET, both blended together, polyethylene, polypropylene fibers. So food wrap, tea and coffee bags. Tea, you must have seen small tea packs and all. So sacks, bags, sachets, insulation bags, absorbent materials, all these we can go for. So what are the advantages or the salient properties these should have are easy to recycle, and it should be compost enough, and high tear resistant. It should be light in weight and a prolonged shelf life. Okay. It should decompose, but at the same time, it should have a good shelf life also. So this is the tea bag you can see in that pic. And here small packing materials, bags. And this one, no, on the left side, you can see bottom, the second row, first photo, that is used in the medical textiles. The packing material full in kgs, you can put medicines. In that end, you can move it to the required place. Okay, transportation could be done by complete sealing. Okay, we're using this material. And next you have the Protech. Protech is the protective textiles. Dry laid, spun laid, melt blown webs are used. Mechanical bonded non-woven structures are used. The weight moves from 70 to 250 GSM and 80 to 1200 also in the case of needle punched fabrics. Then the fibers used are PET, PP, Kevlar and Nomex. So, chemical handling material, automotive industrial materials, pharmaceutical industries, in pharmaceutical industries it is used. Laboratories it is used for, police, army, okay, food industry, disease and disaster management, medical applications, oil tank cleaning. Here all we go for this protective textiles. This bulletproof finished materials are used for the coats in army, for the policeman, and fire retardant finished materials are used for various purposes. You all know. So different salient properties are flex cracking resistance, excellent barrier properties, breathability, then abrasion resistance, tensile strength, resistance to ignition, then liquid repellence and flame retardancy. So these are the salient properties that the protective textile should have. So these are the different protective textile material. Okay, fire retardancy, medical and bulletproof finished using Kevlar. So all these nowadays are corona protective against corona also we put on these garments. That also will come under the protective textiles. Though it is for medical textiles, you can bring it under the protective textiles also. And next you have the Sportech. Okay, for Sportech, dry laid, spun laid webs are used, mechanical bonded structures are used, and the weight moves from 70 to 250 GSM. Okay, and sometimes to 1200 GSM also. So 1200 GSM needle punch fabrics are used for wadding the pads and all, for bedding in the Sportech. Okay, for different pads they are prepared, you know, for knee pad and all. For all those things, more GSM is required. Okay, for the t-shirts that is produced and all, see cotton, viscose, lyocell, tencel, spandex, glass and all are the different fibers used. And the salient property is required is good wickability. The sports material should surely have the vertical wicking as well as the horizontal wicking. Okay. And of course, the material should be light in weight. It should be easy to use. Non-raveling edges it should have, and high tear and abrasion resistance. Okay. So different materials those are prepared are wipes, covers, disposables, and as I told you, knee pads and all, t-shirts. Okay. All these things are prepared with the help of these materials, and also tents. Sometimes tents are you prepared. Okay. Camp tents, no, for all those materials we go for this. Yeah. So, so far we have seen different product end uses or the applications of non-ovens for different end users. So, in the technical textile field, okay. So, what is the growth and how potential our non-oven is? So, when you come to that, non-ovens have been one of the fastest growing segments of the industry. The market for non-oven fabrics is growing in various fields of technical textiles, namely automobile, agriculture, geotextile, industry, military, medical, health care, and build tech. Okay. So after seeing all these applications, you must have got a good idea about various applications of our non-ovens in various fields of technical textiles. Right. So the reason for this potentiality in industries is its unique functional properties such as hygiene and safety, cost effectiveness, durability, strength, lightweight, versatility, eco-friendliness and environmental friendliness, and logistic convenience. Okay, increased demand for non-oven in healthcare industry. We can find now that to this COVID, this pandemic period, we are seeing directly all these non-oven materials are utilized. Asia is the biggest consumer of non-ovens and it will keep on going with a healthy growth rate in coming years. That is what is expected. Non-oven materials will find its potentiality surely in coming years, is told. China and India are the major markets within Asia and they together represent more than 2/3 of the total non-ovens consumption in Asia. It's an excellent time to be involved in non-oven product manufacturing. Like never before, innovation and investment are critical as the market continues to expand. Disposable non-ovens are growing faster than durables. The future is brilliant for non-ovens. Okay. So I can accept that non-oven field is growing, it is highly potential and everything. But we are using polypropylene, polyethylene sheets and sometimes the recyclable material we are using and which are not 100% degradable. Right. So when you will overcome, how you will overcome all these problems? Only by going for eco-friendly textiles, we can somehow manage this solid waste management. We can do. The solid waste is a very big issue. It's going to come in coming years because of the non-oven production and usage. It of course protects the human being now, but in future there are chances for if it is not recycled in a proper way, it is surely going to cause some problem. Okay, the solid waste management is going to be a very big issue. Okay, so the issues associated with the raw materials. So what raw material we are going to use? We should avoid all the ones which are not degradable. We should go for the natural ones. Okay, the prices of raw materials are higher, will shoot up surely by the wide use of this for non-ovens and shortage of production of widely preferred non-ovens, then significant increase in the demand of hygiene products during the pandemic situations. Okay, all these are should be, we should overcome all these problems. We should at war food basis find some remedy for the disposal of this solid waste. Okay, so our research and innovation in eco-friendly fibers we can go for, and then the utilization of sustainable fibers for fabrication, manufacture of materials that are decomposable and recyclable. Okay, so all these will surely help us in overcoming the problems. So these are the references which helped me in collecting all these materials for this presentation. Thank you.